Hello CraftDee family, and welcome to another requested video by She's So CraftDee. Now today I'll be heading to the Dollar Tree and sharing over 80 projects I have made with my finds. Now this video will give you lots of ideas to keep in mind when you head out on your next trip to the Dollar Tree, and every project shown has the tutorial link in the description box so you can see how to create it and all of the supplies needed. Now to all of my subscribers and my visitors today, I wanted to say hey, and then I'm so excited to bring you all along with me. So now let's just jump right into the shopping at the Dollar Tree. So I'm starting off in the party aisle, and the first thing I come across are these trifle bowls. Now these trifle bowls are like a clear plastic. They have a little pedestal at the bottom, so cute for crafting and also for parties. But I created a couple of things with these. Now I added tumbling tower blocks to the sides of one for a planter. And I also use some of these Dollar Tree sun hats to embellish the bowls as well. Now these are easy to take apart just by snipping one end, and they unravel like a spool of thread. And here are the trifle bowls. The bottoms are cut off, and I wrapped them with the sun hat trim and finished them with antique wax. I also trimmed out one of the taller acrylic containers with that sun hat trim, and I used the black and the neutral sun hats. Now I've also trimmed out some of mason jars with that sun hat trim at the bottom, and I have these as sconces. And I took a couple of the Dollar Tree vases and I wrapped those as well, and I'm just loving how these turned out. Now this is one of the Dollar Tree plates, and I wrapped this with the sun hat trim for a pocket planter. And then for the fall, I trimmed out one of the Dollar Tree pumpkins, and I gave it a little of an antique wax finish. Now another thing in the party aisle they have are these scalloped containers. Now these have been really good in stock at my Dollar Tree, and they are really fun to craft with as well, and they have a fancy scalloped edge for all of your decor. Now what I did is couple these up with some of these battery lights that I found in the Dollar Tree as well in the garden section, and they made a cute little DIY project. And what I did with this is create a couple of lighted sconces, and you can see here they look really high-end. Now on down in the party section, they also have these little mini round bowls. I always see these in the Dollar Tree, and I did use these for one of my DIYs, so if you do see them, go ahead and pick those up. There's a lot of possibilities with these. Now what I created with these is I painted them with a matte black spray paint, and then I placed them on a little riser tray and filled them with succulents. Now on the bottom shelf here, they have these decorative cake trays. Now these are perfect for cakes and pies, but also for your DIYs as well. Now what I ended up doing with this is making a 2-tier tray, and I put a beaded scallop trim that's also available at the Dollar Tree. They also have clear acrylic type pictures, and I like the little wavy design in these, and also these can be customized in a lot of ways. Now I just did a simple update to this picture. I inserted a piece of buffalo check scrapbook paper inside and trimmed out the edges in white to make a planter. Now these fluted bowls are really cute. I really love crafting with these. What I did with these is I made it a fluted bowl stand. I used a couple of the glass candle holders from the Dollar Tree, placed the fluted bowls on top, and gave them an antique finish. Now these silver bowls are really popular around the holidays, but my Dollar Tree still currently has these in stock. What I love to do with these bowls is use these as toppers for my different styles of my lanterns. They are the perfect size for that, and I did it for my street light post lantern as shown here, and it turned out really great. They also have the smaller ones, and these come in a 4-pack, and if you make a smaller style lantern, these would be perfect for those as well. And here's a couple of those that I used the smaller toppers on. Now these candy bowls or candy containers are really popular right now at the Dollar Tree, and my Dollar Tree had them well in stock. These are perfect to use as is, but you could also style and craft with them. And I ended up painting one and putting a label on it, and then I left the other one clear with the label on it, and they turned out really cute. Now onto the garden section, they have these metal S-hooks. They get these every spring and they're perfect in your garden, but you know me, I had to use them in crafting, so I love to use these to make my 3-tier tray using the wood trays at the Dollar Tree. They also have the plant chains. Now when they come out with these in the spring, I always stock up because I end up using these year round. And I like to use these for my 3-piece hanging signs as shown here. Now another project I like to use with the chains are these floral and garden buckets that they come out with every year. They're fun to decorate and attach with these, and here's a set that I made with the chains and those metal containers. You can also make a cute little wagon with that same little galvanized metal container. Now with the tall galvanized planters with the jute twine trim, these are in every year as well. These are fun to craft with, and I've used these in several of my projects. They're really easy to work with, and I used a triple set of these to make a hanging planter inside of a wood frame. I also cut one of them in half to make hanging wall sconces. And I also took the jute twine off and spray painted mine with a black metallic to make a Christmas arrangement. These triple planters have been showing up every year. Surprisingly, I'm just so happy to see these back in stock. And what I did with this was something unique. I took a Dollar Tree trellis and I cut the planter and attached it to form this beautiful welcome display. And of course, we can't forget the little plant hooks that they have. I've seen these used in so many different projects, and you can form and bend these any way that you like to make them work for your project. But I use them in this 2-piece shelf, and I use the hooks as a towel bar at the bottom. Now down at the bottom, they did have all of their Dollar Tree garden fence sections. These I have done lots of DIYs with. Now keep in mind, they're $1.25 at the Dollar Tree, but you could get them for $1 at Family Dollar. And just to mention a few projects I've done one of these medallion circles with the fencing. I've created this 2-piece wall decor set with the fencing. And I love this 2-piece sconce set with plant holders with the fencing. This 2-piece decor piece with the fencing in the center with a wood frame. And this circle mirror with the fencing, which is one of my all-time favorites. Now they also have these cute little lanterns back this year. So this little one, they have them in different colors. And what I like to do with these is remove the candle. I'll give them a coat of black spray paint, and then I will add them to a piece. And I did that for this home decor sign. Now these windmills are really popular too. They have been back every year. They come in like a silver and green or a silver and black finish with a little welcome sign on there. And I have used the windmill portion in a couple of my projects. I used it here in the topper for my 2-tier shelf. And I also used it for the O in my home sign here, made with all Dollar Tree items. Now I grabbed a couple of these 3-piece cup sets. I love the shape of these cups because they don't go too narrow at the bottom, and they resemble little planters for me, or organizers. So I love to use these in a project, and I created this message board, created 2 planters at the top and a pen holder at the bottom, and I gave them a little distressed finish. Now I love working with the popcorn containers as well. These are sold in a 2-pack at the Dollar Tree, and you can remove the lettering with acetone, or you can paint over them. And what I did with one is I painted over one and gave it a galvanized metal finish for these pair of sconces. And then I did a couple of coats of paint for this planter piece that I actually trimmed out in wood. Now these large 2-pack of bowls are also at the Dollar Tree, and what you can do with these is you can actually cut these in half and make these planter bowls to actually hang on a display. Now I did that with this project here with the paint stick back, and I applied hooks to the back of the planters with foam board. They got their waste baskets back in stock. Now I love using the mesh on these waste baskets for different projects. They have them in white and black, and you can use these for everything. Now the bottoms always get thrown out of the waste baskets, but I created these little round signs for them. These are for the bathroom. I did a shower head and a bathtub, so don't throw out the bottoms of your waste baskets. I also used it for the backing of this planter box. And I used it for the backing of this gather sign. Now the gold baskets are in stock too, and they have so many different sizes. They have square, round, and rectangle. And most recently I used this little square type of basket here, and I actually used this to build a wooden shelf to fit this particular basket in it, and this is that project. So much fun. Now I love these little acrylic bath mats, and I've never honestly used them in my bathtub, but you know, you guys, I have used them in my crafting. I'm so glad to see these back in stock because I usually cut these up and make some fantastic DIYs with them. Now what I did with this is create this 3-tier chandelier, cutting up that bath mat. Now they also had carpet pieces in my Dollar Tree. They sometimes have these square ones, but this time they had the long plank ones. I haven't seen the plank ones in a long time, but these are fun to craft and stencil on. Now what I did with this is I stenciled on farmhouse and framed it out with wood on one of those carpet planks, and it turned out great. And you guys, don't sleep on those rag rugs. They may not be the most beautiful, but they can make some awesome decor for your space. If you're looking for some really warm colors for your space, you can take 2 of them and make pillow covers. And speaking of rugs, they have the zigzag ones with the little fringe on the end. I think that these are so fun to craft with. They have them in a couple of colorways. They got them in a gray and white, green and white. They have a tan and white and a black and white color. And you can make so many things. Now I trimmed out a metal bucket with beads for one of the rugs with a scrap piece I had left over. And then what you can also do is certainly make pillows and pillow covers with these. Now onto the glassware section. They have these little decanter type jars there. They just came back in stock at my Dollar Tree. I really love crafting with these. They are so really cute. Now what I made with this is a pair of farm fresh vases, and I used shower curtain rings for the little handles on the sides. Now the stemless glassware is back in stock as well. They have this new smoky black, blackish gray color. They also have these in clear, and they're fun to use in staging and crafting with. Now I recently staged this 2-piece candle holder set with the gray set with a votive inside. And I've also painted them and added some accents to make a 2-piece planter set. Now further down they have these tall vases. Now I actually bought a few of these last year and was waiting for them to come back in stock, and they have those in assorted colors. Now what I like to do with these is I like to pair them with this round candle dish that they usually have in the same section, and I'll bond those together to make a really cute year-round stand. Now I did that here and I painted the pieces, and now you can decorate for all times of the year. Now these baskets are out again in the spring section, and they are just a regular neutral basket that you can decorate any way that you like to. Now what I did with mine is I stained it with Waverly Antique Wax. I put a black band around it and an accent zigzag trim to kind of spice up the look. Now these garden bowls are back too. These are so easy to craft with and paint. I love using these. These garden dishes are a really big size too. Now I've done a few DIYs with these. I've actually mounted it on little painted beads to make a little stand for candles. I've also made it into a cement looking finish with chalk paint and baking soda mix. I've mounted it on top of a wood grain look bowl for a nice neutral bohemian look. And I've given it a nice washed look with beaded trim and a candle stand for a fruit bowl. Now I love the wreath forms, especially the 8-inch wreath forms. These have to be my favorite. They come in a 2-pack set from the Dollar Tree. Now I love making the little wreaths. I have this wispy boxwood wreath that I made from that wreath form. I also have this boxwood wreath that I made for a ladder that is more compact. I made a couple of boxwood wreath forms with these 8-inch wreaths as well. And then they have these 8-inch box art. Now these are my favorite size to craft with. They do have different sizes throughout the year, but if you have been following me for a while, you know I use this size to make my lantern vases. Now I paired this up with my racetracks and made the infamous racetrack lantern that I designed and paired up. This makes a very cute centerpiece. Now, if you are feeling a little ambitious, you can also make the 2-tier racetrack lantern as well. Now, if you have more racetracks, you can also make these hanging shelf pieces with the racetracks. Now they have the boxes with the Easter theme on them. They usually have these boxes all season long, and if you see them, grab them up. As you can see, you can make this beautiful planter display here with the boxes. You can also make this triple decker 3-box stand as well. Now they also have these plastic pictures. They're not acrylic, they're more of a plastic that you can actually cut a little easier. And I use the handle to add to one of those boxes to make these scoop light planters that you can hang on your wall. Now these crates are really popular at the Dollar Tree, and I did notice, heads up, they are getting smaller. So if you see the larger ones, grab them up because they are going to get smaller. I made a 2-tier wagon wheel planter here that's really fun. I made this trellis planter set. I also made this farmer's market planter, and the principal is included. And I I made this 2-piece set on stands that is absolutely one of my favorite original creations. Now, you guys, don't sleep on the storage container section for your crafting. Now, I used this 3-piece SureFresh rectangular set here, and I also used this 2-compartment set, and these are great for arranging and sorting your craft supplies. And what I did is I actually took them, I painted the lids on some of these, and I made an organization rack, and I used my little Cricut machine to kind of make labels on these, and I love this idea. Now, I did head over to see if they had any cookie sheets, and they did. They have this cookie pan. These are really fun to craft with. You can customize these and paint these, and I made it into a little tray. Now, this paper towel holder I have seen used in a lot of different DIYs, from assorting acrylic paints and everything else, but I created something that you could use in a household usage. I mounted it to a wood circle, painted it black, and now I have a cute little toilet paper stand for my bathroom. And you guys know I love the microfiber mop heads. There are a lot of things that you can do with this microfiber mop head instead of mopping. In fact, if you've used it for mopping, let me know in the comments below. But I created this cute little rug, a placemat, a trash can cover, a wreath, and a pillow from this mop head. I've also made some holiday decorations, such as this little mop head bunny, and I've also made a snowman for the Christmas season, one of my favorite DIYs. Now, they also have some cute spring dish towels on display for your kitchen. But if you have a little one or a little girl who loves to swim, you can create a really cute bathing suit cover. I did this as a crisscross halter and a pair of capris with the towels from the Dollar Tree. Now, also, since the spring is coming, outdoor events are kicking up. They have these little plastic baseballs. Now, these make the perfect base for a lot of projects, including some twine and jute wrapped balls that you could use as a centerpiece. And you can use them to cover with moss balls or your green Spanish moss. And also in the toy section, they have the little houses. Now, these are so much fun. Now, I created a house with this last summer, and I made a cute neutral Our Home sign. I just painted the house neutral and love how this one turned out. And the chopping mats. So let me tell you guys, if you see the chopping mats, grab them. I love, love, love to use these in my lantern DIYs, but you can also use them in your craft space. Now, I use them to line this lantern here. It is so cute with the fairy lights inside. I also use them for a different lantern that's more of a box style, and this one lets that light shine through really beautifully. And I also use them for my removable frosted lantern here. Now listen, I hope that you all are inspired by these Dollar Tree creations. If you love to shop Dollar Tree too, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up and leaving me a comment letting me know what projects that you are going to try. Now make sure that you're following She's So CraftDee on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. And to make sure you don't miss my next DIY video, make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell to be notified. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll